Terminator Dark Fate cost a staggering $190 million to make, but it was actually edited with Adobe Premiere and After Effects with Ryzen CPUs. So even if the VFX were on a tight budget, where did all the money go, and how did Dark Fate end up being the second biggest bomb of 2019? A team of 120 artists produced the epic factory fight scene between Grace and the Rev-9, which incorporates background extensions for the car factory, Rev-9 Blade effects, and stunt and head replacements for both Grace and Gabriel. Additionally, the team worked on the derelict building sequence where the Rev-9 catches up to our heroes and chases them both on foot and via helicopter in an abandoned industrial complex, and also the air battle sequence, making interiors for the C5 Galaxy fight between Grace, Arnold and the Rev-9. This fight required head replacements for stunt doubles, as well as full digi-doubles for Sarah, Dani, Grace, Arnold and Gabriel. DigiDomain's VFX were on point as usual, so let's take it back a step to pre-production. A whopping 13 people were involved in writing Dark Fate, from directors to producers. It kind of feels like everyone and their mother had an opinion on how to make the 6th Terminator movie. To put that into perspective, usually a blockbuster movie is written by 3 or 4 writers, so having 13 contributors is kind of like a committee trying to design a horse and ending up with a camel. Cameron even made changes to the script during filming, and even Hamilton and Schwarzenegger adapted their own dialogue on the fly. A point in case is that at the start of the film, John Connor, a pinnacle character for the first 2 movies, of which Dark Fate was supposed to continue from, is killed, which renders the story of the first 2 movies completely pointless. Not to worry though, Dani will later become the leader of the Resistance, and so a Rev-9 is sent to destroy her. But the thing is that if John can be killed and replaced easily, then what's to stop Dani from being killed and replaced as well, creating an infinite loop of Terminator movies? Anyway, getting back to the VFX, an interesting scene from a VFX standpoint is after Grace enables autopilot to join the fight, as damage continues to happen to the plane's exterior, the autopilot continuously tries to correct the plane's trajectory, putting the actors and objects into an epic rumble-tumble. A plate was shot with Grace in the cockpit on a blue screen set that did not have a stairway or connection to the cargo bay below. Grace puts on the autopilot, and as she moves away from the pilot seat, the shot turns fully CG. As she is hanging there surveying the damage, the camera goes past a full frame. Here they used multiple cameras to track, model and animate her face, as well as to project textures to the blend with the CG face render. Add to that blowing CG hair, muscle and cloth sims for her body, etc. Finally, she drops past the camera into the tempest of the atmosphere and debris to join the other digi-doubles in the damaged interior. Surprisingly, the movie was edited using Adobe Premiere and After Effects, a common choice of software used by everyday YouTubers, much less Hollywood studios. Method Studios made a 5-minute sequence in which our heroes steal a C5 military aircraft and take on a bunch of adversaries, not to mention the Rev-9 Terminator who has commandeered a helicopter. Filmed either on location or on blue screen set pieces, Method added many of the aircraft and vehicles as CG assets. Perhaps another thing adding to the downfall of this movie was that John Connor is replaced by a female actress. The legendary role of Arnold Schwarzenegger is replaced by another female actress, and these two are also protected by the matriarchal Sarah Connor, also a female actress. Perhaps because of this, the movie was deemed feminist by fans, to which the director replied that he doesn't give a Well, let's just say calling the fan base closet misogynists doesn't really help them like your movie. Another way fans felt duped was hearing that Edward Furlong was going to be in the movie. Hamilton, Schwarzenegger, Furlong, the classic team was back together and the movie would be epic, right? Well, Furlong was on set for just one day, and his facial motion capture data was used to kill off his character. Industrial Light and Magic did the stunning de-aging VFX, but to be honest, it seems like Edward was only given a part to be able to say that he was in the movie and create buzz. Blur Studio wanted to test out the third-generation Threadripper processors in their machines to stay on the bleeding edge of what's possible for their VFX work. They found that with these AMD Ryzen CPUs, what usually would take 5 minutes to complete now took 5 seconds. Despite all of these studios' colossal efforts to make the action scenes as real as possible, Dark Fate's fateful downfall was due to more fundamental flaws. Dull plot lines, weak story arcs, and a disappointed fanbase that was already tired of wasting their time on Terminator sequels, not to mention pointless ones that render the original movies pointless too. After taking a whopping $190 million to make and spending a further $100 million on marketing, the studios were left pocketing a $220 million debt.